And global affairs commentator Kunle Falomo joins me now to discuss President Trump's decision to suspend immigration for 60 days. Good to have you join us, Kunle Falomo. Now, the much anticipated executive order on banning immigration to the United States has been signed by President Trump. But this is coming at a time where countries have shut their borders and airspace. What's your thought on this?
All right, thanks for having me again. Well, I would say that he initially made his intention known via Twitter 48 hours ago, and he went ahead and signed the executive order just last night, which was Wednesday night. Like you rightly said, the president said that he wants to make sure that United States citizens get the job when the economy reopens again. We're not sure when the economy is actually going to open because it depends on the individual states. But again, some political pundits are saying that because it's simply because of the 2020 politics and the 2020 elections, the president simply wants to be seen as being tough on immigration, and that's what he campaigned about, and that was the rallying point for his campaign in 2016 before he got elected, and he wants to make sure that he gives his political base something to cheer about in the chaos going on right now. So, and that's why we're having this form of restrictions on immigration again. But I haven't said that. Again, you're very correct when you said that a lot of countries have some form of restrictions on their citizenry. People aren't traveling as before. Air travel, it's on all-time low. Means basically people aren't too enthusiastic to hop on the plane and come to the side of the world and simply come and take a look or sightseeing. And it's not, working when people are currently dying on a daily basis in America. Who wants to come here at this point in time? A lot of people won't want to come. However, there's some exemptions to the rule. If you're a spouse or a minor child of an American citizen, you're exempted. If you're a healthcare professional or you're a U.S.
All right,
military.
just allow me butt in here because let's look at some of these issues one after the other. President Trump said the order will ensure that unemployed Americans of all backgrounds will be first in line for jobs as the economy reopens. And he also said that crucially, he will also preserve the healthcare resources for American patients. Wouldn't that be a fair statement to make?
Well, don't let us forget that the president is more of he's supposed to be the president of all Americans, regardless of your race, regardless of if you're white or black. But it seems to be that this nationalistic approach to it's either you're and again, it seems like it's for one set of people, maybe Caucasians, people that looks like how he looks like, and from some other people who aren't like he is. Currently in Missouri, there was a report just yesterday that came out that some black families were not able to get a test kit because of their racial bias. The doctors aren't letting them get tested for COVID-19, despite the fact that they had all the symptoms associated with it. These are basic problems that we are facing, and then there's a tendency for a white family to get in there and get tested than a black family, and this is obvious. This is what it's going on right here in Missouri.
Could just allow me, allow me butt in, because this is about the economy and this is about jobs. He is saying that, look, and this is with every country, the pandemic has impacted on economies, and we see the number of people losing their jobs on the rise. Wouldn't it be wise for him to say, look, as the economy reopens, as we deal with this virus and economy reopens, let's preserve the jobs for American citizens, whether Caucasian or black?
It wouldn't be the right thing to do. because all jobs should be based on merit, regardless if you're white or black, regardless of your race or religion. It shouldn't be because you're American solely that should be the only criteria for getting a job. It should be because of your qualifications. All right, and there's some other non-essential services jobs that a lot of Americans wouldn't do. When you go to California, for instance, people harvesting crops in the sun, in harsh climatic conditions. A lot of Caucasians aren't meant for that. Mexican people would rather get their jobs, and meanwhile, those jobs are not high paying. They're not $15 an hour. They're low paying jobs. A lot of American people don't want to do this kind of jobs. And these jobs are readily available, but people from Mexico would take that job. An American family would never take that job because it's nerve-wracking. It's a hard, difficult jobs. So it shouldn't be based because of your color. It should be based on merits, and that's what it's supposed to be.
All right, so we know that immigrants have contributed immensely to the American economy, and as economies begin to build up after the pandemic, what do you think would be the impact of this decision by President Trump on the American economy?
Well, it's too hard. It's quite difficult to ascertain the resultant effect of this would be. It's 60 days that he said he's going to put a restriction on. It's about looking at the post 60 days and see how it becomes of it. Don't forget that um, while all of this pandemic chaos is going on, the president had steadily been making policies. The president and his men have been making policies on immigration. It's been tougher and tougher for a lot of families, especially immigrant families. So, how do we ascertain and how do we gauge or measure the success or otherwise of this executive order? We're going to look at it at the flip side of it after 60 days.
All right, so let me divert away from this immigration policy and look at the protests across America at this moment. We're seeing states with Republican governors and mayors opening up the economy, and we're seeing states with Democratic governors and mayors not doing that. Why do you think that the reopening of the economy in America has some sort of political coloration to it?
I'll answer your question with this. The director general of the Institute for um, C- uh, Control and Allergies, Dr. Anthony Fauci, disease control and allergies, I believe. He's the guy, the scientist, well, scientist stroke doctor that stands with the president at the podium when he gives his COVID-19 updates every single day. Dr. Fauci has said that we should be worried for another resurgence of coronavirus come fall. Fall is just September, a few months away from now. We're still battling with the current crisis. We haven't even gotten ahead of it yet. And then they're still telling us that, look, it might be tougher for the American people come fall. This crisis might escalate again by fall. So, meaning that we're still going to have more people dying of coronavirus again in America. Now, having said that, they're still advocating for social distancing. There is no vaccine currently, so everything is still up in the air. But you have to understand that a lot of people are pained and they're kind of tired of staying in their house. That is understandable. But what would you choose? Would you rather live, or would you rather go to work and get infected and probably die? It's something that you have to choose. But you could see the problem with the American people sometimes because everything is all centered on what side are you on? Are you against us, or are you against the Republicans, or are we Democrats?
All
And
right, Kunle Falowo, I'm afraid we do have to leave it there. Global Affairs Analyst Kunle Falowo. Many thanks for talking to TVC News.